I do get discouraged, but I realize that you have to just continue to push forward and continue to feel as though what you're doing, it does have an impact, even if it only impacts one person, because that one person, they may have a platform to reach thousands. So therefore, you continue to do what you need to do and what you think is important for our community, and just, you have to just make sure that you're doing it for the right reason also.
Yeah, well, we're happy. One of those platforms you're doing right at this moment. Let's talk about some of the projects that you do. As I said, you're a teacher, and you don't have to be in a classroom to do it. A couple of the programs that I read about that Yojimbo Men's Collective does is a project called the Protege Project, which is about mentoring, and the Social Justice and Equity Project, which is community conversations, a series in the community. Tell us about those projects.
Well, the Protege Project is really a mentoring program that we developed, and we have. It's really a reciprocal type mentoring program, because we pair older Black same-gender level men with younger Black men, and it's really between the ages of 18 to 34 are our proteges, and the mentors are 35 and older. We really try to connect that, because we recognize that when HIV impacted our communities, there was an entire generation of Black gay men that were eradicated. They're no longer here. So therefore, some of those people did not get an opportunity to get mentored and meet and be a part of those other generations. And we're just trying to bridge that. So therefore, you will understand some of the things that have happened to Black gay men in the past. And we're trying to build those intergenerational relationships, and we want those to be built on being nurturers and friendships and encouraging it and empowerment, those types of areas, and not sex, because we realize that sometimes when we have those type of programs, it becomes very sexually charged and in a very sexual energy, and we try to encourage that it's not that. And if you feel as though that's something that's going to happen between you and your protege, or you and your mentor, let us know, so therefore we can pair you with someone else that you may not be sexually attracted to, because we don't want it to become this whole protege sex program. That's not what we're trying to do.
LGBT, plenty of.
We have enough of that already.
A lot of that chance, so we'll set that aside. Are you, in terms of a mentoring program, and those that would come into and follow programs like this, who, I love the phrase in the Black community about giving the flowers before they're gone. In the South Florida community, who are the names in the Black community that are just really inspiring Lorenzo Roberts?
There are a lot of people. I look for Christopher Bates, who is the chair of the Pride Center board. He's a mentor. I've known him for numerous years. Tatiana Braxton, or Tatiana Williams, she's very inspiring in terms of what she's done in terms of coming from where she was, and now she's the executive director of Trans Inclusive. My husband also, he's Mr. International Rubber. He's not only, he infuses and his feminine, his masculine side, and he really infuses that, and really that's his platform in terms of really wanting people to stand out and, and recognize and claim your power.
And those are those that are leading, three great names. You didn't say your husband's name, by the way.
Oh, Daryl Robertson.
Daryl Robertson.
Yeah. Not just my husband, but yeah, Daryl Robertson.
Right. He's going to talk to you later. And how about young Gen Z millennials in our community? Who are those that are inspiring you?
Ederick Johnson, who works for the health department. Walter Rucker, who works for Pride Lines down in Miami. There are two that I just come to mind. And there are other people like a part of the state, they're not necessarily local, like Daniel Downer in Orlando, Tonio, I can't remember his last name, over in Tampa, St. Pete. But there are a lot of young people who are doing some incredible things. They're starting organizations, and they're being very vocal about being who they are, standing up and just being proud members of the LGBTQ community.
For Black men, gay men, are you encouraged about where young Black gay men are heading? Are you excited about what you're seeing, or gosh, we got a lot to do?
I am excited because there are a lot of young Black gay men who are doing a lot of great things. I wish there were more of that, and I wish there were more older men who would look at that and say, oh, I can still be a part of this in terms of adding to and sharing my experience. But yeah, I think that there are a lot of young black gay men who are doing a lot of incredible things in our community. And they're standing up, and they're not cowering, they're not being afraid to stand in the light and show who they are as people of the LGBTQ community.
You give me an excellent opportunity to transition to one of the big calendar events of 2023, and that's the annual Living in the Light Conference 2023 and the Diamond Awards Affair. It's going to be October 13th to 15th, 2023 at the Gallery 1 Doubletree Hotel here in Fort Lauderdale. So to everyone that's listening to us, it's an opportunity to come in a social, education, and a very positive, affirming opportunity for gay men and allies of men in the community. Tell us a little bit about the conference.
Well, the conference is really to empower, encourage, and educate black same-gender loving men to really live their lives authentically, why we call it living in the light, because we want people to be able to come to that conference to educate themselves about different areas. Again, our 5 pillars is leadership, advocacy, spirituality, relationships, health, and wellness. In all of our workshops, our speakers really kind of embrace those particular topics, and those are the ones that we really want people to walk away that they've been inspired, they've been educated, and they feel as though they can actually go back to their communities and share this information, and also that they're now wanting to be more open and authentic about who they are in their own personal communities as well.
And if you live locally, you can come in for the day.
Right.
You don't have to stay in the hotel. And if wherever you're watching us right now in Roku, Apple Television, you can come from anywhere around the country and stay at the Gallery 1 Doubletree Hotel. So tell me about the awards program. You give awards. What's that about?
What we've done in the past, we put out the nomination to the community because we don't do it ourselves in terms of deciding who's going to get the awards. We have the community members send us nominations in terms of the same areas that we do our tenants in leadership, advocacy, spirituality, relationships, health, and wellness. So we give awards out in each one of those areas. It could be an individual or it could be an organization, but we do it because we want to recognize, again, giving your flowers now, recognize people in our community who are doing great things in those areas. We've done them in the past, and we recently did one earlier this year to give awards in those same areas to some health department staff members, because we recognize that many times when they're doing their work, community members they don't want to recognize them outside of, oh, you're doing your job. They are doing their jobs, but again, they're still people a part of the community, and they're being impacted as everyone else. So therefore, we just wanted to recognize some of the DOH staff to say that we see you and we appreciate and we want to honor you.
Yeah, and one of the components is a social entertainment program. You have a renowned musician, Naj, winner of 4 Out Music Awards. He's recorded 7 albums, published 3 books, toured all over the world. Tell me about having Naj at the event.
Yeah, actually, he's been at our conference a few times, like at least 3 times before. I heard his music and I contacted him. I said, hey, we're doing this conference. And can you come and perform? He was like, sure, and he came. And it's just great to have a black, same-gender loving man who's a neo-soul artist and to come and share. And he's very low-key in terms of how he presents himself. But the music is just amazing. His voice is phenomenal. And it's just been a great opportunity to have him participate in our conference over the years.
That sounds fun. And then on the educational side, the lead anchor of the education program and track is Reverend Dr. Tommy Lee Watkins Jr. He's a behavioral health social worker and a graduate professor at the University of Alabama. He is also the spiritual director, behavioral scientist, former mathematician, a professor, and licensed even commercial pilot.
Yep.
And he's doing a very interesting educational track. Tell us about what he's doing.
Well, it's really about trauma, because a lot of times we don't talk about the things that have happened in our community. Trauma that you've gone through in childhood, you have not gone to therapy about it. He's really to how to enlighten us in terms of how trauma has impacted you today. And if you have not had any type of counseling, therapy, or anything like that, you're continuously working in that traumatic experience, and you're not living your authentic life because you're living through trauma.
If the subject wasn't so serious, I'd make a joke. Wait, being black and being gay, there's no trauma. Wait, I think I did make the joke. His program is that he is going to be doing is he's facilitating this series of workshops that is called Examining How Trauma, Religious Trauma, Stigma, and Shame Impact Spirituality, Wellness, and Health, and the Health Institute. Those are big challenges.
Yeah, on Friday we're doing the Institute with him, so he's going to have the floor from like 2 to 5. So therefore, it's really about delving into all of those areas and exploring them. He's going to give the historical, he's going to give the educational, he's going to give the psychological, all those perspectives of those different areas. And then he's going to also open it up so people can actually share some of the things that they've experienced, ask questions, so therefore they get some responses in terms of how they make and move forward from some of the trauma that they've actually experienced.
You know, and we're giving you all of the details for the conference. You for sure want to participate. We, Happening Out Television, is going to be supporting the conference and helping in every way possible in Hotspots Magazine. Last area of focus, Lorenzo, the great needs that Yojimbo Men's Collective does for our Black community here in South Florida and other places. We're moving into 18 months of a countdown of a really pivotal election. I know it seems like every election that we've done for the last 5 cycles, we've said it's the election of a lifetime.
Yeah.
But really, we're moving to really a pivotal decision in America of what we're going to do. From the standpoint of being a Black queer man leading a nonprofit organization that's trying to educate and raise our hands to say we can do better, what do you think the next 18 months are going to be like for you and Yojimbo and our community and really all of America?
I mean, I think we really need to just get with all of our local Democratic organizations, Doppin Democrats, just trying to really make sure that we are with those organizations. Grassroots, and getting people out, going door to door, making sure that everyone's registered to vote. Not only registered to vote, actually go and vote. Because we need to start voting to make sure that we are getting the people that are in office now, get them out of office. Because we have enough people who are registered to vote. The unfortunate part, they don't go out to vote. So the number of people that are registered is either equal or more than the Republican Party. And there are also those people who are not affiliated with any party. So the other population we also need to attack and talk to and say, explain to them why it's so important for them to vote in the Democratic perspective. Because when you start to look at the things that are happening now, look at the terrain, look at the negativity that's happening. And if you're like, they continue to say they're God-fearing and everything, I'm like, I don't know what God they're fearing, because the God that I serve would not want you to be as horrendous and be racist and misogynist and homophobic and hateful. You know, the list just goes on in terms of what we should not be doing, but they're doing it, and they're doing it under the guise of they're religious and God and everything.
And so that's your hope for the next 18 months. Do you think the Black LGBTQ community is going to heed your herald call and say, well, we've got to do something more different?
I think if we continuously do it, all of the organizations in our community start to work together, to band together, to go out and do these type of voter registration activities and trying to get people registered, and also educating the community about what has happened. Not only the things that are horrendously happening from the Republican side, but also some of the amazing things that the Democrats have actually done as well. That's the other part. We, as Democrats, we don't necessarily toot our own horns. Yeah, and we need to start telling our story. These are the things that we've done great for our people, and letting the people know and educating the community about that.
Exactly why you're here today, because we want to tell the good, positive stories of Yojimbo Men's Collective. It's very, very important. This is an organization, we're giving you the contact information. Look up the Men's Collective and the programs that they do in terms of education, health support, and the other areas that they're very involved in. And we're looking forward to the conference in October. We wish you all success with it.
Thank you so much.
Lorenzo Robertson, thank you very much for being with us at Queer News Tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. Thank you.